What dumb lie were you able to convince someone was true? Children are stupid. But I convinced them that I was 300 years old. Told my boss in high school I played tennis so I didn't have to work the early shift on the weekends. He proceeded to donate tennis balls to my school and gave me a trash bag size of tennis balls. I had no clue what to do with that many, so I told my parents I played tennis too. They also believed me. My little brother that the curved part of the candy cane was just as long as the straight part. When I was in 8th grade my parents got me a puppy because we had just moved across the country and I didn't know anyone for the summer. My best friend from back home came to visit me right when we got the puppy. That first night I was worried the puppy would pee in my bed, but my friend told me that puppies don't pee when the lights were out. And my puppy never did pee when the lights happened to be off. So I grew up and went to college spewing this lie. It wasn't until my 3rd year in college when my roommate got a dog and I tried to explain to her that it wouldn't pee with the lights off and she was like, "Where on earth did you hear this?" When I asked my childhood friend about it she was shocked I actually believed this and came clean with me that the only reason she told me dogs don't pee with the lights off was because she was tired and wanted to go to bed. This is such a boring story. The song Chariot by Gavin DeGraw was about coming out of the closet and telling your family you were gay. Not me, but my sister convinced my brother, we're all grown adults BTW, that these tiny glasses, about 2 in across, were her actual glasses. The universe is only 21 years old, did this yesterday. I once called my mom, who lived 10 miles east of me, that I had a foot of snow on the ground. She believed it. This has now become a thing between us where we will make up some dumb thing and try to convince the other. Yesterday she told me she was giving me $20,000. Had me come over to her house and everything to pick up a check. When I got there it was to make me help move furniture. Well played, Mom, well played. When we were little kids I convinced my sister that if she covers her soup with a hot pot holder, it will cool down faster. I used to work at a Boy Scout camp on Catalina Island. Some days when the air quality was great, you could see the mainland very vividly. On other days when the air quality was crap, the mainland was very hazy and gave the illusion of seeming further away. One hazy summer day a young tenderfoot asked me why the mainland seemed further away today. I explained to him that there was a line keeping us tethered to the mainland. If it broke we would float away. The days we seemed closer was because we had drifted inland. We called this tethering line the coastline since it attached our coast to their coast. I then sent the young scout down to the water to go find the coastline, and make sure we wouldn't float away. Good times. I convinced my wife, girlfriend at the time, that the Banana Boat song, Deo/Come Mr. Tallyman, was a political protest song against the banana tax of 1937. Now we sing each other is called banana taxing in our house. I convinced my mom that the vents in the top of motorcycle helmets were small jets that spewed out air to deter bugs. I'm mixed race and my older brother and I were significantly darker than my younger brother. In middle school, some kid asked me if my younger brother was adopted because he wasn't black like us and I rolled my eyes and said yup, he's adopted. Completely forgot about it. Years later it turns out a bunch of my classmates believed it, and we found out because someone approached him saying something like it's so great that your family treats you the same as your siblings even though you're adopted. It took us a while to figure out where TF that rumor started and it turns out it was me, my bad bro. Gullible is not in the dictionary. I convinced a phone scammer that I didn't have a keyboard because I used a telepathic one instead. He asked if I had a telepathic mouse, I told him to not be so stupid and he hung up on me. Because of how crappy RI drivers are, I convinced my father, who didn't live here at the time, that turn signals were optional because it's so common for people to not use them, smiley face. That the bright orange center of an acorn is a delicious little treat. This might sound mean, but I convinced a girl that my friend had Down syndrome. He wanted me to do it and see if I could pull it off. I did, and she still believes it. That if you didn't cash your paycheck right away, that it would begin to accrue interest. I'm from a small town about an hour away from where I currently live, which is a much more populated area, and I convinced my BF's friend that I grew up drinking milk straight from cow's udders. That I was straight. That it's possible to get pregnant if she swallows LMAO. I told my mate's 5-year-old that I had a disease called Benjamin Button syndrome, which means I'm aging backwards. She believed me because I promised I was telling her the truth. My friend was furious because nobody should lie to his daughter when promising. That if they jumped into a rose bush nothing would happen. She still has a scar next to her nose. That it's possible to get pregnant if she swallows LMAO. It wasn't me. Gullible is not in the dictionary. That KFC was not founded in Kentucky. Not me, but my sister, 7/8 at the time, used to throw a tantrum if we were having lasagna for tea, so my dad told her it was lasagna, which she ate and enjoyed it for years before figuring out what he'd done. We still tease her about it 20 years on. I was able to convince a classmate of mine that there's an area the size of the UK in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that doesn't have any gravity because it's the deepest area of the ocean and thus the farthest away from the Earth. I told some guys in my high school that if you sit on a chair, you push it down, so if you lift up the seat while sitting in the chair, you can overcome the equal and opposite reaction and fly. I don't know how they believed such an obvious lie. A stripper that I was a gynecological med student. I was wearing scrubs. I convinced my friend that in Minecraft if we made this weird redstone ritual circle, it would make him breathe underwater. That you are unable to break an egg in your first. That a human penis has a bone structure like a spine and it curls up when soft. Seriously, she was 16 and believed me. I convinced a high school biology major that ginger fur in cats is the result of an infections retrovirus going around the global cat population. I used my full ginger and ginger/white cats as live example, calming the orange and white one used to be all white, and the ginger spots were growing and will eventually cover all of him. She was then afraid to touch my cats, cause she didn't want to catch it. Gullible is not in then dictionary. Gullible is not in then dictionary. This one's so ridiculous and innocent but made me laugh. I convinced my nephew I was a pirate. Ha! That's nothing. Some guy wrote that this other guy lived to over 900 years old and millions believe it. Got a 5-year-old. They're impressionable. As Sarge said, would eat dirt if you told him it was chocolate. This is so fucking funny, I can picture this. I'm cracking up. Are you a priest? You, sir, are just evil. You lied a lot, my friend. Why did you comment this 4 times? You do realize you commented this exact thing 4 times. LMAO. If you think I did it on purpose, I didn't. There was a glitch on my end.